Good morning, everyone. Today I'll be embarking on the journey from Las Vegas to Tucson. I'll be taking this 2022 Tesla Model 3 standard range. I have a little dilemma and I gotta make some decisions, and we'll see as the trip goes where I'm gonna stop to charge. From here to Tucson's roughly about 380 miles, but the elevation is below Las Vegas. So my theory is if I keep it around 75, I'm gonna put it on cruise. And since I'm going down the elevation, I should be able to stretch that range out a few more miles. So we'll see. I'm gonna make that decision once I get to Kingman. Okay, so off we go. So the second factor we need to look at is this little number, average energy. Trip B, I've been averaging about 217, 218 watts per mile. Now, by the time I get to Kingman, that average energy needs to show under, by my calculation, about 205. So if it shows 210, 215, most likely I'm not gonna be able to make it. This Model 3 is equipped with 50 kilowatts of battery. And 50, simple math tells you if you're averaging 200 watts per mile, that means 5 miles per kilowatt, times that by 50, that's 250 miles in range that I could push. All right, quick update. I'm about 35 miles in the journey. We are in Boulder City, Nevada, and it shows I used about 10% stated charge. So 5 kilowatt hours of battery was used to go from Summerlin, Las Vegas to Boulder City. At Kingman, Arizona at exactly 50% stated charge. We went 122 miles, used up 28 kilowatt hours of battery, which is a little unusual at 50. Well, now it says 51%. We just got a little regen back there. We should be able to get more efficiency out of going down to Wickenburg. We're at exactly 51% stated charge. Tesla automation is asking me to stay under 70 miles an hour. I refuse. I'm gonna keep it at about 75 still. That's what we've been doing this entire trip. I definitely don't recommend this stat to ever come up on any year. Doesn't matter if it's a Tesla or any other EV. It says destination 121 miles. We got 124 miles of range, 46%. I still believe, I think we're gonna get there with a little more than 4%. I think we're gonna get there because we're going downhill, so we're gonna be taking advantage of more regen. All right, quick update. I am about 40 miles past Kingman, Arizona. Tesla navigation system told me, please stop and charge. There's no way you make it in Wickenburg. At one point, actually said I had 110 miles of range left, but my GPS navigation said I had about 111 miles to go. But as I suspected, I'm going from 3,500 feet down to about 1,200 feet in elevation, so I should be able to squeeze out a little bit more mileage. So let's take a look at this real quick. I'll show you. Now it says 92 miles of range left, and my destination is 81. So I actually gained about 10 miles since I left Kingman, and the Tesla navigation said I can't make it. Well, hopefully I'm right, and hopefully this stays a steady downhill, decrease in elevation, and then should be okay and make it to the charging station at Wickenburg in about an hour and 16 minutes. Okay, almost to Wickenburg, but I think I may have miscalculated and screwed up. Showing that I have 13 miles to go to the Tesla supercharger, but I only got 11 miles of range left. All right, here we go at Wickenburg. We're at the home stretch. Really cutting it close. So it says I got 4 miles of range left, and I got 3.6 miles to go. supercharger. Whew, we made it with 3 miles of state of charge left to go. And let's check the trip. We made 254 miles, used up 56 kilowatt hours of battery, average energy use of 222 watts per mile. Just plug it in, hopefully it works. And we have charge. We're hitting about 100 kilowatts. It's a little on the slow side, but now we gotta check what is it gonna take to get to Tucson. About 156 miles. While the Tesla is getting charged, fill my stomach up, and now I'm gonna head back to the car. We're going very slow at 61 kilowatt. All right, it's 12 o'clock, 12:01. I am at 85% state of charge, 231 miles in range, approximately 160. Alright, my journey is complete. I started at 7:40 this morning from Las Vegas. It's now 2:25. Just hit Tucson. So that's the map for the charging station that's entering Tucson. Here, I've done this trip 4 or 5 times already. About 7 hours, actually, the fastest I've ever gotten here. So the only thing I can say is the difference is instead of stopping for gas 15-20 minutes, bathroom, and put the gas in and get something to drink or eat, this stop was a little bit longer because Wickenburg had a very old 150 kilowatt charging stations from Tesla. So I plugged in there for about 44 minutes, got up to 83%, and then took off. But this was a great experience. I mean, right now, so far, there's no difference, but going back to Vegas from Tucson, there's gonna be a huge difference. I'm thinking I could get away with 2 stops for charge. Now I'm going upwards in elevation. That's number 1. So everything I'm gonna have to factor in only about 75 to 80% of what the system tells me the range could be. The biggest problem is being on this part of Arizona, charging is not very popular. I think there's a ton of EV charging, but Tesla is very far few in between. The entire city of Tucson, there's only 2 or 3 Tesla superchargers on opposite end of town. So I'm gonna have to plot this out carefully heading back to Vegas. But we'll see. That's a video for another time. Until that video, I'm here in Tucson, gonna enjoy my weekend here with my daughter. Alright, I arrived in Tucson, Arizona, the Tesla charging station. I am at 35 miles, 13% state of charge. Let's see, what speed are we at? 134, 153. Oh, that's good. So this is the newer one, 250. I mean, this is where owning an EV, you have to spend a little bit more time. And when I say a little more time, it's not hours, okay? A lot of people exaggerate, so I want to clarify that. We're talking maybe just a couple of minutes. Just kind of plan out your trip. I'm in a completely different state than where I'm at, where I live. I'm in a city I'm not very familiar with, a city with not many Tesla charging EV stations. So I do have to plot this out a little bit carefully. So now after owning the Mach-E for the past 4 or 5 months, and then going to a Tesla, I gotta say it is very difficult to get away from the Tesla charging network. It is as inconvenient as most people said. Is that enough reason to buy a Tesla? You know what? I'm not going to give that opinion yet. I only own this car for about 32, 33 days now. I will do that in the follow-up video and give my honest opinion after I drive a few more other cars with no biased opinion. And stay tuned. Hopefully that video will be up in about a week or so or 2. I'm going to do a full review on this car, and then we're going to do a full review on the Mach-E ID4, and we got quite a bit of cars in the pipeline, including non-EVs as well. So definitely stay tuned.